Okay, so hello and welcome to yet another Gaming Masters video. So today I am going to be providing you guys with a first look at the full version of Star Wars Battlefront. Now, this is the EA Access trial and this is a live commentary, so sorry if the commentary does kind of like die at some point or I stop talking because this is a live commentary. I may end up stop talking because I'm concentrating. I believe this map is Endor. No, it's Swamp Crash site though. No, this is Endor, isn't it? I'm not 100% sure. Now, I haven't played any of the Star Wars games before this one apart from Lego Star Wars, which I played on the PSP quite a few years ago, and I haven't really watched many of the films. I mean, I love the franchise, I just haven't really got around to watching any of the films, but
Enemies ahead.
I understand the basics of the franchise and what it's about, and I'm looking forwards to the game. The only thing that I have a mild criticism about is that during the beta, the edges of all of these objects look really rough and stuff like that. Like, it didn't look like good quality as far as I can tell. Now, this is the first game that I've played. They seem to have ironed out those issues, but I'm not 100% sure. That's part of the main reasoning behind me getting, well, most likely getting Star Wars Battlefront on PC, because it was a lot more stable and more fun on PC, in my opinion. But obviously this is 10 hours of Star Wars Battlefront early, so I'm going to test it out on Xbox One and then I'll decide. It does look better than it was in the beta in terms of textures and stuff like that. The resolution seems to have improved quite a bit. Obviously got to wait for possibly some more comparison videos or a bit more game time for me to actually make a conclusion on what I think of the full release of Star Wars Battlefront. Now, I'm currently playing Block, and yeah, this is Swamp Crash site, yeah. And basically, I believe that Blast is your equivalent of Team Deathmatch that you would get in any other shooter. Now, you don't actually have ammo in Star Wars Battlefront because the weapons are mainly they're lasers and stuff like that. So they can overheat, but there isn't any like ammo, so you can't actually technically reload as such by pressing a button like X, for example, or running out of ammo. It's just charging, so you do have a timer if you overheat, and then you have to wait a few seconds for it to cool down, etc. It's got a long process for that. As you can see here, I'm shooting and then it burns your hand and you have a short animation and then you're back into the game. They've actually changed that animation since the beta earlier on this year. Now, I did actually have access to the alpha, which was around about the launch of E3, but I was away, so I didn't actually get to play it. So somebody you might know called Benny Central had access to my account to do it. He works for Xbox and stuff. He also has a YouTube channel. But I don't know what it was like during the alpha, so it might have changed even more than in the alpha, but that's all under NDA, so I can't really say much about that, and I didn't have an experience to play from it. So, yeah, I'm fairly impressed, I have to admit. And it looks a lot better than it did in the beta. Obviously, this is only one map. The gameplay seems a bit more stable, and I'm actually having a fairly good time. And it's enjoyable, whereas the beta, it was... I think that my main problem with the beta was there were issues that I didn't like. I think the hit registration was a bit out of date in comparison to all of the other Frostbite games, like Battlefield 4 and Battlefield Hardline. So I think that I was expecting that form of netcode, and it wasn't at that level during the beta. But it was a beta. They've ironed out quite a few issues, I think. However, I've heard a lot of other comments that people have said that the spawn system has not been fixed from the beta, and I haven't had particularly many issues, I don't believe, but I've only been playing for a few moments, so I haven't had a full experience, as I said earlier on. Now, there are 12 multiplayer maps available at launch of this game, and there is going to be a free DLC for absolutely everybody called the Battle of Jakku, which is a movie tie-in with the film that is releasing in December. If you pre-order the game, you will get 7 days early access to the free DLC and all of the free maps. Now, we do have a Season Pass available for Star Wars Battlefront, and that will be your standard Battlefield expected Season Pass benefits. So you'll get all four of the planned DLCs that they're going to charge you for, and you will also get
Be ready for
all of the, like, I think you get some extra skins possibly, and some like extra bonuses and stuff like that. I've not really looked into it because I'm not looking into getting the Season Pass for it at this moment in time, so I haven't really read up much upon that. But it's your standard cost of like £35. I think that might be $50 or something like that for the Season Pass for Star Wars Battlefront. Now, this game is only available on Xbox One, PS4 and PC. As you can tell from just looking around at this map, it wouldn't be runnable on Xbox 360 or PS3. So, sorry last gen users, but you won't be able to have your hands on this game until you upgrade or buy it on one of your other preferred systems. Now, that was very close. The overall opinions of the game so far is the menus are, I actually really like menus. Menus are easy to understand. It's very much a casual shooter, so it's not your Battlefield game where you're gonna want to play it on PC. It's designed for PC. This is very much for the console users, but I personally think I'm gonna probably get it on PC, simply because I found it more fun during the beta on PC. EA do have a deal with Sony, so it's got like most of the marketing for it is going to be on PlayStation. However, Xbox get early access because of EA Access. But DICE seem to have done a fairly good job with this. Now, it was DICE Stockholm who were well known for all of the previous Battlefield games before Battlefield Hardline. You have Mirror's Edge from them, and I think that's it for the games that they've made so far. And it's been 3 years in development, so they've probably had a lot of different ways of looking at it. I mean, there isn't a true single player, which a lot of people complained about when it was revealed there wouldn't be a single player. People thought it would have a kind of tie-in with the film, but there is no single player available in the game. There is a single player missions option, which is where you can do missions versus AI, and have your like battles and stuff like that. However, it's not a proper single player experience, which is what a lot of people wanted, especially for a Star Wars game. Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Star Wars Battlefront both had single player, and I believe also co-op / multiplayer. And it's a shame that they've left that out, but there is always that possibility that we do get it at a later date even. I mean, it could be included in a DLC. They definitely haven't made all of the DLCs yet, so there is that chance that we do get the single player experience that people want in a DLC. However, that is not confirmed or announced or anything like that, so don't follow what I've just said. I'm just saying that it might be a possibility if they understand how people feel in the community of Star Wars Battlefront. So yeah, the menu seems to be fairly fluid. It's different from your standard multiplayer Battlefield game, and you can't change your loadout mid-round, so when you die you can't change it as much as you can with well, it's very much like a Call of Duty setup in that aspect, and Counter-Strike, where you set your weapons before the match and then you can't do anything with it. And by referencing to CSGO, what I mean is you can't change the skins or the versions of the gun that you have available in your loadout. You can obviously buy them and things. So yeah, it really does actually look a lot better. The edges are smoother, as I mentioned earlier on, and I'm fairly impressed with the experience so far. It's a shame that there's no single player experience. It would be awesome if they added one in the future, but I don't think that they will. But there is always that possibility. We thought that the Battlefield 4 content had all ended, and now they've come out with another three free DLCs since the Battlefield Hardline title was launched earlier on this year. So there is always the possibility that they do add it later on in the time. This is very much EA's first Star Wars game that they're really trying to market, and they can't really have any issues with it because all the fans have been excited for it for years. I think it was announced quite a few years ago, so people are fairly excited for it. And with a tie-in with the movie, as in the release of the movie, if they do get it wrong, I think a lot of the community are going to be very upset, and also EA probably won't be respected as much as they currently are for their current situation with games, because they're really putting the gamers first and making sure that the games work at launch and they're not scared of delaying stuff anymore. I think that the new CEO that was introduced a few years ago has really done a good job. However, if this game isn't stable, I have a feeling that a lot of people either wouldn't trust DICE or they wouldn't trust EA, and that would be a very, very disappointing situation to be in. But so far this seems to be fairly stable. I think that they have taken note upon the community's opinion. They have really tested this game. I mean, they've had a lot of play sessions with big YouTubers. They've had an alpha, they've had a beta, and now it's on early access. They could even get fixes in as early as in 2 weeks for stuff, or server side pretty much straight away once they've fixed the issue, if there is one found. So, yeah, I mean, the 12 multiplayer maps are... I don't think that there's enough maps. And... I mean, I know that they're limited for what they can do with the maps, but I think that there really needs to be a lot of content. Bearing in mind we don't have a single player experience, I think there could have been more maps available. I know that they are adding a DLC, free DLC for all players, but that isn't going to be a replacement of all of the maps that they could have done at launch in replacement of a single player. I believe there are about 9 game modes in total. Once I finish this round, I'm going to walk you through all of the different game modes. There is a map for every planet in every game mode. However, not every map is playable on every game mode. It depends on the size, the game mode type. So, for example, if there's something like this map, you can't really do Walker Assault on this, simply because of the terrain. The walkers won't be able to go on the terrain. However, you look at stuff like the snow maps. I can't remember the names, I'm so bad. But if you look at stuff like the snow maps that we had in Ibiza, you could obviously do Walker Assault on that, and it ran fairly well. But the co-op experience is going to be interesting. Not many games on next-gen systems have co-op, so it will be an interesting experience. I'm not sure if it's got split screen. I know it's 4-player co-op, but I think it might only be over the internet. I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, I think that there could also be quite a lot more weapons. I believe that they said that there's 11 primary weapons at launch, and we complained about the 50 that we had in Star Wars Battlefield Hardline. I mean, okay, that's more of a Battlefield game, and you have a lot of open world, well, not open world, but a lot of options that you can have for your Battlefield games. However, and I understand that they are limited as to what they can do. They've got to make it as realistic as such to the Star Wars Battlefront, I mean the Star Wars franchise, but there's not much, not many options that you can combine with different maps, different game modes, different game modes and things, so I don't think it's going to have a huge playtime, sadly. I was expecting it would keep me going until the next Battlefield game, which will be out in 2016. However, I don't think it will, simply because I don't think that it's going to have a huge amount of replayability. I think it will keep people busy until about March, which would be approximately the same length of time that people played what was the name of the game? Battlefield Hardline for. Oh, as MVP. But yeah, overall fairly impressed. Don't think it's going to have a long lifespan. Obviously the core fans are going to stay on the game, but I don't think it's going to have a huge lifetime, simply because there's not enough content. Obviously that can change over the next 12 months with all of the DLCs that are promised to be coming out as part of the Season Pass, and you can buy them separately, of course. I think for like £12 or something like that. That's the standard cost for DLCs for games like this. So we should be okay, hopefully. But here are the game modes that are available in the game. As you can see on the right hand side, it will update you as to how many players, what if vehicles are available, heroes are available in that game mode. So Blast is a version of Team Deathmatch. Supremacy, drove the enemy off the planet in all-out warfare. Walker Assault, Imperial Walkers descend on a rebel stronghold in an epic game of attack and defend. 40 players is the maximum that you can get in the game. Fighter Squadron is then obviously a aerial combat game mode. Drop Zone, capture more drop pods than the enemy to win. 16 players for that one. Cargo, steal enemy cargo while protecting your own, that's 12 players. Blast is 20. Actually, the stuff on the right hand side doesn't actually update. It's the stuff on the actual game mode icons. So yeah, Blast, as I said, 20 members at once, so 10 on each team, and it's Team Deathmatch. I mentioned that one earlier. Heroes vs Villains, round-based combat with mixed teams of heroes and infantry. 12 players, that's 6v6. Hero Hunt is 4v4. Players a single hero against a squad of enemies. Action with 3 moving droids to capture and hold, which is droid run with a total of 12 players, so 6v6. Now here are the maps, as you can see: Sulphur Fields, Ice Caves, Jawa Refuge, Swamp Crash Site, Rebel Base, Dune Sea Exchange, and those are the maps that are available for droid run. I believe that the game mode that there you go, Outpost Beezer, so that's the one that had the Walker Assault on. The maps actually look really good, as far as I can see. So here are another 4. Forest Moon of Endor, there you go, that's the one I was talking about earlier, it wasn't that one. John Land Wastes and Sorosub Centroplex. Walker Assault was this one. So yeah, I'm fairly impressed with the menu system. It's fairly easy to do. You can check which maps are on which playlist. Sadly, you can't rent servers on the game, so you can't do stuff like cinematics particularly easy. You can't have custom rotations, etc. However, I am fairly certain that if the community really wants it, they will add it at some point. It's just not going to be at launch. They might be working on something in the background, we never know. So here's the Season Pass stuff. 4 expansion packs, early access of 7 days, exclusive emotes and new locations. All 4 of the paid DLCs are currently not revealed, so we don't know what content's going to be in that. However, we do know that the Battle of Jakku, the movie tie-in, is going to be available in December, 7 days early access for all beta players. I mean, pre-order people, so that's your pre-order incentive with the game. So yeah, overall I think it's improved quite a bit since the beta, but can't really give many other opinions on this. I'm going to try and get the game on PC. If you do want it on Xbox One right now, you can purchase it on EA Access for 10% off, which is like £49.94 or something, and you will also have 10 hours early access, and it is £6 per month or £20 per year. So I'd highly recommend getting it for the year. You get early access to all of the other games that EA have and will be released, so I highly recommend it, and it's the full game. As you can see down here on the new Xbox One experience, you also have all the achievements available. So here it shows the progress of my achievements for Star Wars Battlefront so far, and the ones that I have completed. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, follow, and of course, as always, subscribe is very much appreciated. And I shall see you in the next video, which will most likely be Rise of the Tomb Raider. which is out tomorrow. So I shall see you soon. Don't forget to like, follow, and of course, as always, subscribe. Peace out.